Oh, hi. Didn't see you come in there. I'm Alex Keller.
Whoa, there's intruders in the podcast. Hi, I'm Mike Harding. Damn.
And this is the Filmtastic Voyage. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Alex.
Those dog days of summer, they're not barking no more.
So is it okay, would it be the cat days of winter?
It's September.
Well, no, that's true. I'm saying like polar opposites, right? So like if it's the dog days of summer, then it must be like the cat days of winter coming up, I mean.
Sure.
And then in the fall, it's like an in-between animal, like a ferret or something.
Maybe like
The ferret days of fall.
some kind of large, like a large bird, maybe.
The parrot days of spring.
Yeah.
Hey, for our fans out there, why don't you leave us some comments? What kind of animal should it be?
Or don't waste your time, whatever.
Should be in the different seasons.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Boy, I got some stuff I want to bitch about.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I'm bitchy today, if you know what I'm saying. Which, of course, you do. It's pretty
you're
self-explanatory.
a sassy bitch.
Oh yes, I'm quite sassy, very sassy. So the I'm just gonna go right into it because
Yeah.
I don't need to ask how you're doing. Fuck you.
I'm doing great.
So the reviews and the Venice Film Festival is going on right now, the International Film Festival.
Oh.
In Venice. That's in Italy, for folks who don't know.
I thought you meant Venice Beach.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, the Venice Beach Film Festival. Anyways, go ahead.
I can only imagine. There actually probably is one. There's Burbank has an international film festival. I'm sure, every little town has their own. Santa Monica does.
Boyle Heights. The Boyle Heights Film Festival.
The Van Nuys International Film Festival. Might exist. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm seeing all the fun little reviews and stuff that's coming in. So far, we got a lot of little tidbits about Oscar movies coming in.
Yeah.
So we got glowing reviews from the festival for movies like Damien Chazelle's First Man.
Oh yes,
we got
First Man. What was that, Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
And Claire Foy. We got good reviews for the Hugh Jackman vehicle, The Front Runner, where he plays a politician based on a true story.
Oh.
I forget the specifics of that.
Is that him as Bernie Sanders?
No, and it's from, I think it is. Oh, I don't remember his name. I remember the story though. It was a while ago. It's from the 70s, I think.
Oh.
Anyways, we got what was the other? There was one more that was getting real good. Oh, the A Star Is Born, the Lady Gaga Bradley Cooper vehicle.
Right.
Got some pretty glowing reviews. And then lastly, we have Alfonso Cuarón's Roma, which I'm really looking forward to. That one's oh my god, it's a fucking masterpiece. But so I watched the trailer. I'm like, oh man, this looks beautiful. It's gorgeous black and white cinematography. It's Alfonso Cuarón, one of the greatest visual filmmakers of our day.
Yeah.
And it's oh great, oh it looks so sweet. And at the end of the trailer, it's a Netflix film. I'm like, fuck, god damn it. And so they announced that. So for this particular film, Netflix is going to be releasing it in theaters. I was like, yes. And I looked, and it's we'll be releasing it in about 12 theaters in the country, mostly landmark theaters, just for Oscar runs. I'm like, fuck. I want to see this goddamn movie in the theaters. I'm so tired of being, jerked around by Netflix, and I want to be able to watch these fucking movies. And I mean, not just on my rinky-dink TV, in a real setting, especially from these masters like Cuarón and Scorsese, and the Coen Brothers' new movie is going to be a fucking Netflix movie.
But here's the thing: is they're also signing deals to do these Netflix movies.
Well, I'm glad that Netflix is paying them.
It's on them, really.
No, I know.
think it's on them more than it is Netflix. Netflix is just trying to make that dirty dollars.
I'm not
right?
really saying that Netflix is at fault necessarily.
Right,
I'm not
but
saying,
it is annoying.
I'm more saying why can't you do what Amazon does and put them in theaters or whatever? Because I want to see these splendor movies and all of their real splendor.
Yeah, but Netflix, their whole deal.
Yeah, they're just
we want to just have everything on our streaming.
They're just
service.
racist against movie theaters.
They are racist against movie theaters.
It's another notch in that sort of like, come on, guys, let me. I have other things I was thinking about too that led to other thoughts I had. But what do you wait to say?
Well, I had a question for you because have you heard a wink or a fart about that Dick Cheney Christian Bale movie? Shouldn't that be kind of coming into the fold?
They're filming it now, isn't it coming out next year?
Oh, they're filming it now. Okay.
Or they were filming it. Like I think they just wrapped. I think like Christian Bale lost all of his weight again, but
That
filming
doesn't surprise me.
I think they're probably gonna. I think it's a next year movie.
Because whenever he drops weight, hey, for everybody who doesn't know, whenever Christian Bale wants to drop weight, he eats apples and smokes cigarettes.
Well, that was just for The Machinist. I don't think that's his constant diet.
He said up until very recently, like I think for this, right, for this movie, he's like, yeah, I got some doctors to help me out with my weight loss and gain, right? But
It's actually an okay Christian Bale impression.
But typically he mentioned up until this particular movie, he's always just like done it himself, which is unhealthy.
Yeah, there was a story in The Machinist. There was a scene where he had to run away, and they couldn't film. They could do like 2 takes, and he's like, I can't run anymore.
Oh my god,
my legs don't have any muscle mass.
I would love more. I love the idea, and that's why I want this Dick Cheney movie to do well. Is I love the idea of an actor being able to play both Batman and Dick Cheney and pull it off. So hopefully it's a good movie. Yeah. But anyways, back to what you were talking about.
Another fun story, speaking of The Machinist, that he just showed up to set like that. That wasn't written. That wasn't in the script. That wasn't part of the character description.
Oh,
the director, he just showed up to set, like 80 pounds or whatever, and the director's like, okay, let's do it.
Wow.
That's a great movie. Have you seen The Machinist?
I'd say The Machinist is good. I'd say Christian Bale is good in The Machinist. I'd say he's better than the movie was.
I thought the movie was good, a good, nice little Hitchcockian thriller. Like maybe not great is
right
too much, but I thought it was a very well executed movie.
And here's another fun little factoid about that. He started filming Batman Begins 3 months after he wrapped The Machinist.
Yeah,
and that's nuts.
Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
How does one do that?
Magic.
Yeah.
Anyways, the other thing I was thinking, and also I don't want to make this seem like some sort of like I hate Netflix kind of thing, because I don't. Netflix is great, but I'm just I don't.
It's all right to hate Netflix.
No, well, yeah, but like I don't know. It seems rude.
We're giving people food for thought. Hey, if you guys want to leave some comments about your thoughts on Netflix, be sure to leave some comments down below.
It's more just like I don't want to see the world of movie theaters disappear because of
it won't.
It won't. No, but I don't want to. I don't want to see these movies that deserve to be seen on the big screen not get that kind of recognition. Not like public recognition, but like theatrical recognition. But also, it made me a thought, and it's not like a Netflix thing. This is more of a streaming age kind of thing. But it made me think: how do kids these days who don't know, who are like trying to get into film, how the hell do they do that?
How do they get into film?
Yeah, like it's like, oh man, I want to watch The Godfather. Where do you find The Godfather? Do you have to rent it? I guess from like iTunes or whatever. I suppose I don't rent any movies.
Oh, you could rent it from iTunes, YouTube, Amazon.
Okay, but like,
or you could do what good old Mike Harding does. Go out and buy that shit.
Okay, well, I mean, like, there's that, which is okay, but like, I think it's a lot harder. You have to be more specific. You can't like go to. I don't know, maybe someone let me know if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's probably good ways of doing that, but I feel it's hard, like, because like when you used to go to your local library, well, they still have libraries, thankfully, or your rental whatever place, and you can just go to the wall of classics. They had like a classic film section. You could just go there and just like get this,
right?
And that seems like it's a little harder to do that. You have to be more specific, know what you're looking for now.
Well, here's the thing. I guess you have to be more specific on what you're looking for. However, I think that information does exist. I think that information to find out what movies you should see is more readily available, even if it is like shitty, like, Watch Mojo, or not shitty, sorry, Watch Mojo, but like, Cineflix, Watch Mojo. You got these YouTube channels that are all about like top 10 movies to.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I'm wrong. Anyways.
And then also, sorry, just one more point is like, yeah, back in when the culture was like going to Blockbuster or going to Hollywood Video, you would have. You'd have a wide array of movies you can get, but I think nowadays you just have it's just infinite possibilities now, right? You could watch Kindergarten Cop 2, whereas like Hollywood Video already phased that out if it was still around.
That's a good point. Yeah, so it's basically the same as it ever was. But the other thing I was thinking regarding Netflix specifically is that Netflix doesn't release their movies on Blu-ray, and it's like now that like
right.
say like I don't really like it's like whatever Bright's not on Blu-ray whatever, but now that they're getting into some really nice they're releasing some nice meaty movies, right? It's like well, if they're good, I would like to own them on Blu-ray, and if I can't, that really blows. They released like Stranger Things on Bluray. They released some of their properties on Bluray when they have enough demand.
House of Cards, yeah. Orange is the New Black, that's on Blu-ray.
Yeah, but like for most of it, like the vast majority of the Netflix released products, they are not on Blu-ray, nowhere to be seen, and so that worries me that should this movie that's a Netflix original that I love, not be released on Blu-ray, I can't buy it. I can't add to my collection. Right. I don't have ownership over it in any kind of sort of physical media way because I don't really like the idea that I can't own this, I can't watch this whenever I want. My internet out.
Right, you can't let someone borrow it. Mm-hmm. You can't bring it over to a friend's place and watch it if they don't have Netflix. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And so that's also worries me. So like I'm just concerned, man. I'm concerned about the future.
And I like the main menus. I like the main menus.
Main menus have gone downhill recent years, though.
They have, but something Netflix often doesn't have with a movie that like Blu-rays will always have is like, hey, check out the trailers or the extra, the extra features, the bloopers.
That's also been going downhill.
The deleted scenes. Deleted scenes seem to be
deleted
around.
Scenes are like the only special features nowadays. You get like deleted scenes, maybe a gag reel, but like I miss like the really meaty
interviews,
documentaries and interviews. Yeah. Like I remember like going like in Blockbuster like 2000 and watching like Dungeons and Dragons, and on the disc they'd have like like an hour and a half long fucking featurette about just like the history of the game. Maybe it wasn't that long. It was probably like 20 minutes. But still, I remember being like, "Oh, gee whiz!" Like they made spent all this time, money making this bonus feature about about fucking Dungeons and Dragons, the movie.
Did you tell me that they're making a new one?
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while though.
Okay,
talking about it. I forget the specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we live in the age where you're not going to be able to watch a 2-hour interview about the director of Aragon.
Well,
Aragon?
What are we talking about? The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aragon.
Aragon. You're not going to find that kind of featurette anymore, which is unfortunate, right? But I don't know.
I would love it, like in a perfect world, if every movie came with like a 2-3 hour long behind the scenes like documentary that was like just footage, like footage of them filming, like essentially B-roll. Of just there's like a camera crew behind the scenes and they're just filming the director and everyone uncut, uncensored. That's just what they're doing. That would be amazing if every movie had that.
Well, like The Room, right? Like they had that one, Tommy Wiseau. I know this is a horrible example, but Tommy Wiseau had a cameraman going around set just filming everybody for the entire shoot. Right?
I mean, that's not uncommon.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like Lord of the Rings had that, like like The Last Jedi had that, like movies still do that occasionally. But I would love it of like essentially by by Hollywood law, every movie has an uncut behind the scenes feature,
so you can see
for my enjoyment only.
Adam Driver cussing out Daisy Ridley.
No, I mean I'm sure he doesn't do that.
No, I'm sure he's a sweetheart. Hey, Adam Driver, if you want to hang out.
Yep.
Let us know. We're sure you're a cool guy.
No, I mean, like, yeah, stuff like that would be fun.
Yeah.
But that would never happen due to everything.
Due to everything. Everything's changing.
Anyways, the point I'm really trying to make is that I want to give Netflix more money, but they're not letting me.
I mean, here's the thing. I have my Netflix subscription, and I'm probably just going to have that always. Mm-hmm. And that's, that's the unfortunate truth, I think. Is if I'm going to get rid of one streaming service, I think the first on the chopping block is probably Amazon Prime, and then the second would be Hulu.
Netflix right now, if I wasn't on a family plan, I probably would unsubscribe.
Really?
Because I only watched them for about 2 or 3 shows, which I'd probably just wait till they came back.
Which shows are those?
Like BoJack Horseman and Stranger Things, mostly.
Oh, okay.
So I'd wait for those to come back, and then I do with HBO Go. Or HBO Now, or whatever it's called.
Unsubscribe.
I'd subscribe when the thing I want to watch is on, and then I'd also like go through all the movies and stuff I missed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, catch all this stuff, and then I'd unsubscribe for another 10 months.
HBO is interesting because I think it's like what $20 or something.
Yeah, I mean, like that's HBO. Honestly, though, I'd actually
crazy.
would rather subscribe to HBO full time than Netflix full time, just because the amount of their movie selection is a lot better in terms of like movies that I want to watch. Like
true.
Netflix has a lot of good movies on it, but they have a lot less good like licensed movies. Than they used to. I mean, and they still have a good amount, but usually it's like quirky things and like there's not that much. Amazon's a little better, but only little in terms of movies I haven't seen that I want like to watch.
Right.
Like 310 to Yuma and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
I still haven't seen. I'm gonna get around to it.
What isn't that the same director that did Logan?
Yeah,
and also Walk the Line, right?
Isn't that the same guy? I don't know if he did Walk the Line. I have no idea.
Okay.
It might be. I haven't heard that.
Maybe I'm crazy because I remember when 310 to Yuma came out, they're like, from the director of Walk
it probably
the Line.
is. I can imagine it.
And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. But yeah, I mean, with Netflix, honestly, it has gone through a lot of changes in the last 10 years. It's gone through a lot of changes in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I actually have reached a point where I'm like, you know what? There's all these Netflix shows coming out right now, and I don't really care to watch them.
I mean, I think that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to make it so there's a show for every audience. You know, they're not trying to make one show for everyone. They're trying to make a dozen shows for a dozen different types of people, which is a fine strategy. But it makes it also seem like they have too much shows.
I mean, I guess that's what like network television is like, right?
Yeah. I know there's a lot of worry nowadays. People are like, oh man, streaming's just becoming like cable again. Now, especially because there was like a whole controversy of Netflix adding commercials, like for Netflix properties in between episodes or something like that. I
the funny thing is, I don't feel like I've run into that. Have you?
Well, it was just like a test thing that they rolled onto some users, and there was like a big thing, and also the concept people got all pissed about, which rightfully so, because what am I paying you for?
Right.
It's that whole argument. But like the problem with that comparison, I feel, about streaming becoming cable again, is it's a la carte. Which is the problem I always had with cable. Is like, why can't I just pay for like Discovery Channel and nothing else?
Yeah.
So that's kind of
I feel the same way.
And it's on demand too, where it's like, why can't I can pay for like these 3 channels and watch these 3 shows, specific episodes. So like, no matter what, it's better than cable. Well, even if it costs the same, and there's also
it's a lot cheaper,
and you don't have to deal with like the year-long contracts or whatever.
It's a lot cheaper. You don't have to deal with a year-long contract, and you typically don't get commercials. What I think is interesting is I think it would be an interesting natural progression with, like, let's say Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, whatever else is out there, Crunchyroll, right? If there is a company that took all these different streaming networks and they're like, hey, why don't we give this to people in a package, right?
Yeah, that's what they heard.
Yeah, and then after that, like one by one, they all find out. You know what? Maybe, people are getting so tired of binge watching stuff. We should have like a fixed schedule for our programs, right? So then it's on a fixed schedule. You get a bundle package, and then they give you this remote where it's just like, well, okay, so channel 3 that'll be Netflix. Channel 4 will be Hulu. Channel 5 will be whatever.
It's like Animal Farm.
It's like Animal Farm.
It's like they rebel against the farmers only to become farmers themselves.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally.
Or the one guy. Actually, did you hear that Andy Serkis is making Animal Farm? I think for Netflix, speaking of which.
Oh, like he was so great. He was so happy with the Jungle Book Netflix deal that he's like, hey, all right.
Or maybe Netflix was so happy with him. I don't know.
They're just happy with each other.
That's a movie that, I guess I'm glad that we'll have, because it does look worrying, because there was a whole like, oh, it's just the same thing again. So at least they have an audience. So that's
right.
That's probably the first Netflix movie I'm actually like keenly interested in.
It was a smart move for them to do that because, man, they got fucked. With that whole thing.
Well, I think it was a case of let's make our own Jungle Book movie with blackjack and hookers, that whole thing.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, I think all the voice acting and stuff for that was done like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it for like I think I heard about that one even before the Disney one.
Same here,
and then now it's later. I don't know.
I think they both accidentally started a Jungle Book production.
I don't think it was an accident. That never happens.
Oh, okay.
It's always whispers in the wind that someone's doing something, and then other studio will be like, "Well, fuck that."
Yeah.
So.
Now, Alex, I just looked up James Mangold.
Uh-huh.
He did Logan. What I didn't know is he also did The Wolverine
Oh yeah, I knew that.
in 2013. Good for him. He did 310 to Yuma, and he did Walk the Line. Some movie called Identity.
I did Identity. I remember. I met the writer of Identity. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he did Kate and Leopold.
Kate and Leopold.
Which is a strange movie for him to
Girl
do.
Interrupted.
Oh, that's that won Angelina Jolie a whole Oscar. It did.
Copland. And Heavy.
He's a good director.
Yeah.
He's a very good director.
What a good guy.
You know the original director for the Wolverine?
James Wan.
No, Darren Aronofsky.
Oh, right.
And then he dropped out because he didn't want to live in Japan for like 8 months.
That's right. Weren't they also trying to get like Russell Crowe or something?
I think
Wasn't there something
that
weird?
was like the original X-Men, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay. Way back.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Okay. That would make much more sense than
yeah.
inexplicably replacing Hugh Jackman.
I don't think that
with
was
Russell
ever
Crowe.
a question.
Yeah. Who would Russell Crowe be if he was a superhero?
He'd probably be some villain. I mean, he was Jor-El.
He was Jor-El.
Yeah, so that's something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that movie. Speaking of which, Alex, I've been keeping up with some fun news.
Oh, yeah?
This whole James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy, Disney thing's just like escalating.
I was going to say it's been a very sad week for movies.
Dave Batista has very publicly said recently that he wouldn't come back unless James Gunn comes back, and he's also not too thrilled to work with Disney anymore.
Well, he said he wouldn't come back if James Gunn's script wasn't used.
Oh, okay. Well, you saw, but there was an interview I think that came out like today or something.
I did see that he's like, real pissed off still, but I didn't see that. Well, the real sad news I'm sure you saw is that movie's been shelved.
It's been shelved indefinitely.
Which sucks because they were like, the crew was gearing up ready to go, and they're like
right about to go into pre-production.
They all got fired.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, man. I like for a company that has really good, has a really good track record when it comes to like just keeping things, keeping their productions concise, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or they're not bullshitting around, not delaying things, not like doing this or that. Like, I don't know what's going on with this.
I had a theory,
in
my head, that like not a theory, but like a what if kind of scenario I've concocted like over the last day, which is so Guardians of the Galaxy 3 canceled, but in its place they're gonna make Nova. And then the Guardians are going to show up as secondary characters. So it's like, it doesn't have to be directed by James Gunn. It's like a new character or a new story with a new director and a new tone. But the Guardians are still there. They're fun. Having fun.
I think people will boo that out of the theater.
I honestly don't think anybody. I don't think the general movie-going public, if it delivers the goods, they won't care. But you got to deliver the goods.
Right, yeah. I mean, even Glenn Close was like, hey, what the fuck?
She wasn't she's only been 20 seconds of one movie though.
Yeah, I know, but still she was like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
It's a real weird situation. It just seems like what's the expression? Cutting off your nose to spite your foot or whatever.
Oh, cut off your nose to spite your face.
Oh, yeah, that's it. It just seems like it seems like the brass at Disney just are real gung ho about or real didn't seem to think things through. And I wonder what their plan is.
You know what would make everything better? Hiring back James Gunn.
Well, they said they would never, though.
But that's the thing is, man, how heroic would Disney look if they're like, you know what, guys? We heard you. We heard you out there, guys. We're going to hire him back.
That would imply, but that would make...
that would make them look weak.
No, it would make the executive who went... Because it wasn't... I think it was one of the vice presidents who was in charge of that whole thing. Because I don't think it came from Bob Iger himself. It came from one of the vice presidents who was personally fired him. And, executives can't look weak.
Right. But
especially because Bob Iger is stepping down in a year.
In a year?
Yeah, at the end of 2019 is Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney's, is at the end of his tenure. He's retiring. And so, for a vice president to be oops, to say oopsie daisies at the end, at such a pivotal crossroad, that's inter-office politics, man.
All I'm saying is, hey, you know, when it comes to inter-office politics, I could care less. I could not care less, I guess is what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Because ultimately, they're making stuff for us. And it seems like everybody out here is saying, hey, you guys did something wrong here.
Yeah. Also, this is all theory and speculation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't been in those rooms. I don't know what's going on.
It's not about what you know. It's about what you don't know.
It's about what you think and say on the internet.
For all we know, James Gunn is... Well, never mind.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
I've heard that. That's what everyone says. Anyways, and the other bit of sad news, though, for me, is that Danny Boyle got fired from James Bond 25.
He got fired from
Or
it.
rather, there was a mutual parting, you know.
Interesting.
And that means that unless they get a director in like 2 weeks, the movie's going to get delayed, which really blows.
Which, yeah, that is... I mean, this is probably the biggest gap between Bond movies in a while, right? I mean, since, like, Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace?
Yeah.
Or maybe even between...
No, Casino Royale Quantum, that was 2006 and 2008.
8? It was only 2 years?
Yeah, they were like, we're going to make a Bond movie every 2 years.
It was after Quantum of Solace.
And then-
Between
then it
Quantum
was
of Solace and
4 years.
And Skyfall.
Which
That's
was
right.
And then 3 years for Spectre, and then it'll be another. It would have been
5
4 years,
years.
but now it'll be more like 5.
Because the MGM, after
man.
Quantum of Solace, MGM was going through a bunch of problems,
Well,
right?
yeah, and that delayed that, and then
That Lion didn't want to come back. He's like, hey, fuck this, and left.
Poor Lion.
And they had to hire a new
I
Lion.
miss the MGM roar.
Yeah.
The longest gap, though, I think, was between the Living or License to Kill and Goldeneye
Right, yeah.
due to legal issues.
And then there's also a big gap between, was it Die Another Day?
That was only 4 years, 2002,
Oh, it was only
2006.
4 years. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, a long gap, but not the biggest gap. It was a longer gap because we got 95 for Goldeneye.
Uh-huh.
95. I always forget if it's 94 or 95 because I'm always like, it was
It was
95.
95.
But then I'm always like, no, I'm wrong. Like, I'm always second guessing myself. I always get confused, and I've said this before, because the Goldeneye, the video game, came out like 97, and I'm always like,
Right.
it's like, oh, that came out, so it ruins the entire 90s timeline for me. 95, and then it was 97, 99, 2002.
So the GoldenEye video game came out in the same year that
Tomorrow
Never Dies came out. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just rewatched Tomorrow Never Dies, speaking of which.
How was it?
Oh, man. Oof.
Bad?
Yeah, it's not as bad as Bond's worst, but it's not very good. That was my first Bond movie. Did I ever tell you that?
You did. I think we
Yeah.
mentioned it on the video cast.
Well, this is the video cast.
Yeah. Hello, Hello, America.
Hello, world.
Hello, the world.
Yeah, so I watched it again because I'm going through them all. That movie's bad. I'm glad I stuck it through. I guess little 11-year-old Alex was like, "Yeah, that was great," or whatever. It wasn't until I saw like Goldfinger that I really became a Bond fan. But like Die Another Day or Tomorrow Never Dies, they're all the fucking same.
Everybody's dying.
Everyone's dying was good enough that it got me into the series to continue watching them, I suppose. It's like a very just James Bond gets a mission and does it kind of movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the score is hilariously overbearing because it overcompensates for the weird GoldenEye score.
Really?
Well, like his GoldenEye is like tong tong or whatever.
I
right?
love that. I love
and
it.
then,
Eric Serra?
Yeah, and then and Tomorrow Never Dies, pretty much every second of that fucking movie is just dun like it's like.
Did people complain about the
Yes,
GoldenEye
they did.
soundtrack? Why?
Because it was too untraditional.
It's the same guy that
Non-traditional.
did the soundtrack for Fifth Element, and you can totally tell because everything sounds like he's taking a metal pipe and hitting it through a wind tunnel.
But yeah, so that was kind of funny, and Jonathan Pryce is hilariously hammy.
Oh, I didn't realize. Was he the main
He's
villain?
the villain, yeah, and he's just hamming it up.
Oh.
He's frothing at the mouth. He's chewing scenery spilling out of his mouth. He's chewing
Yeah,
so
and
much
then
of it.
someone saw that and they're like, that guy
I want
for
that
G.I. Joe.
I want that man to be Elizabeth Swan's father in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that's right. That too. Boy, he's been all over the place.
Jonathan Pryce is great. I love Jonathan Pryce.
Brazil. If you haven't seen Brazil, you should watch that movie Brazil. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you
still getting used to this.
Yeah, we should. What we need 2 cameras so I can look at the camera right here.
Hey everybody, convince us to start a Patreon so that we can so then you can then give us money and then we'll have 2 cameras. We also should have a fact checker. I feel like a fact checker would be great.
I try to not to say I don't know, so that's good enough for me.
So yeah, I mean James Bond, what can I say, man?
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't seen any of them.
Michelle
I mean,
Yeoh's in it.
I've seen them, but I'm sorry?
Michelle Yeoh from
oh, great.
Crazy Rich Asians, which is killing it at the box office.
It is killing
it's
it.
slaughtering the box office.
I mean, it's like the best movie out right now, I'd say. We have some weird August movies.
Mission Impossible 6 is better, in my opinion.
I mean, they're apples and oranges.
Better.
Apples and
Grade's
they're all apples and oranges.
But like, yeah, it's like comparing romantic comedies to action movies.
You know which movie I did see? I just remember that I saw this. I saw the Happy Time Murders.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Hey, did you
How was
see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. It was. Okay. Here, I'll say some good things first.
Make a compliment sandwich.
I liked the movie.
All right,
I didn't walk away from the movie feeling like it was a loss. Mm-hmm. I would say it's probably like a 3 out of 5 for me. So I don't need to see it again.
So what you're saying is like a 6 out of 10.
Like a yeah. Yeah. There's not much going on other than the novelty of puppets and humans and all that.
Was it like, because there's a lot of like, oh man, I hope it's not another sausage party or.
So I was worried it was going to be a sausage party 2.0, and it wasn't. It definitely was not. It wasn't annoyingly raunchy. It had some raunchy moments, and they worked because they were isolated moments of gross shit.
Nice.
But yeah, it was good.
I was thinking about watching it, but like, I don't know, just been busy.
There's a whole lot of downtown LA in that movie.
Well, I should hope so.
Yeah, places that I really, really recognize, and that was great.
Cool.
I thought Melissa McCarthy was a bit. Her character was a bit underdeveloped, I guess. Didn't quite act like a person.
Well,
because they just wanted to make it very silly.
She is amongst puppets.
She is amongst puppets. But yeah, I don't know. It was fun. I'd say watch it. Go ahead and watch it on like a Saturday afternoon, cool. Tuesday night.
I've been. My girlfriend wants to go out and watch that ghost movie with Domhnall Gleeson.
Ghost? Is he the ghost?
No, but he's in like
I'm a ghost.
The Little Strangers, maybe. I forget the name, but yeah, it's like I'm in a spooky house and I'm Domhnall Gleeson.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar. That's out right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I should see it too. I like ghost movies, I guess.
I'd see a good ghost movie. Here's the thing, Alex. I'm 31 years old, everybody, and I still haven't seen a ghost. All right? Talk about a late bloomer. I haven't seen a ghost yet, Alex. Have you seen a ghost?
No, I love going on ghost tours and being like, oh, in this room, someone once saw a ghost. I'm like, okay. And then like they try to make it like a whole thing. I don't understand the appeal of ghosts, or like the people are like, oh my god, ghost is so scary. I'm like, what's it gonna do? Fucking stab me? It's a fucking ghost. It's gonna yank my sheets off.
Well, if you saw a ghost, what would you do?
Well, I'd be like, hey.
You wouldn't be spine chilled? You wouldn't be bone chilled at all? I'd be fucking scared shitless.
I mean, I'd probably be a little bone chilled, but it depends. Am I in a place where ghosts are expected? If that's the case, I'd be like, oh shit, it's a ghost.
Because yeah. And here's the thing. A ghost is probably going to be just staring at you. And that weirds me out.
Well, most of the ghost stories I heard, like for example, in the Queen Mary famously haunted ship in Long Beach, California.
Right.
I went on that ghost tour, and they were like, in the boiler room, people saw a guy in like an old timey boiler room outfit, right? And he was like lost, and then when they turned around, he was gone.
Right.
It's like, so you don't even know it's a ghost. You just think it's some guy, and then you turn around, he's gone. That's a ghost.
You know what I think that is? That's just my imagination.
Yeah, well, it's just swamp gas
playing tricks on me. It's hard to say with ghosts. There's some people out there that'll be like, "Oh yeah, I lived in a house with a ghost that would just show up every night and it would just like walk down the stairs and then disappear." I'd be like, "How did you not freak out about that?"
Those people. There's a word for those kind of people. They're called liars.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lie.
They are liars. They're trying. I know people who are like that. Like there are kids. I remember kids like people in like my school and stuff. Like one time I got chased by a bee that was the size of a football. I'm like, you're a fucking piece of shit, liar.
That'd be that would be one hell of a bee.
He would also, the same kid when we were really young, would make up the most ridiculous Star Wars facts. Like, did you know that lightsabers can shoot their like sabers out from their hilts? I'm like, where did you get this information? I've read a bunch of the books, and none of them say this. I think you're full of shit, kid.
So let me ask you.
I'll tell you the story later.
Go ahead.
Oh, my favorite dumb internet kid story was from Super Smash Brothers. We're like, hey, did you know that in the original N64 Super Smash Brothers, if you're on the Samus stage and you get hit in the background right as Ridley's flying by, you fight him, and if you beat him, you could unlock Ridley. I'm
right,
like,
yeah.
I was like 9, like, that is nonsense, and you're full of shit.
You know what's okay? So did you know this person in person? Like, were you friends with the person?
It was like at
that?
a camp. It was like a summer camp thing.
Okay, because in my experience, what do they call them? Pathological liars. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, for one, I knew 2 people like this in middle school. And at first I thought they were just fucking with me, right? But I actually feel like people do it because they want you to be impressed.
Oh, yeah.
So that they can maintain the friendship, which I think is really strange because when you finally find out that this person was lying to you, you're like, who are you? Like, what the fuck? What was that? There was a friend I had that was like, oh, yeah, they got, they came out with another StarCraft. It's called StarCraft SG-1. And I was like, oh, whoa, right? So then I looked all over town looking for StarCraft SG-1, and it was nowhere to be found. And of course, it was just this kid being like, Stargate SG-1? StarCraft? I think I'll fool this kid into thinking
did you confront him?
I did, but then it sort of was like laughed off, It was like we were in a group of friends and we're like, oh yeah, StarCraft SG-1. Oh, ha ha ha. That was fake. And then just moved on with our lives.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Those people have problems, though.
They do. Hey, everybody. Hey, little Timmy out there. Don't be a pathological liar.
We'll like you if you don't lie.
Yeah. Truthing is half the battle.
Isn't truthing a lie, though? Isn't that the whole thing?
What?
No, wait, that's like, there's that, like, if you're a conspiracy theorist truther.
Oh, a truther.
Usually you believe in something.
Right.
The truth.
Alex
always
Jones.
He got kicked off the internet, thankfully. It's always weird how he's in not Clockwork Orange, Scanner Darkly and...
Clockwork Orange.
Scanner Darkly and a Clockwork Orange are not dissimilar in terms of their titles. And Waking Life, it's weird that Alex Jones is in both those movies.
Like as an actor?
Yeah, he's just in the movies.
Oh my God.
And Waking Life, he plays one of the many talking heads who's yelling about stuff. And the stuff he's yelling about is not like completely... Like it doesn't reflect what he says nowadays.
I think he got more ridiculous as time went on. He got much more crazy.
Because like in the Waking Life, it's like I want people to go back to being creative and like celebrating human spirit. And it's like this guy, like he's extreme, but like he has like real points.
Right.
And then in Scanner Darkly, he plays a guy in a street corner who gets tased and taken into the back of a SWAT van, never seen again. And then nowadays he's just a crazy person. Or is he?
I think maybe.
Like
I don't know if he's a crazy person.
He's playing. Like, it's widely reported that he's playing a character.
Right. I think he's disingenuous. He's not genuine with what he's saying. There's no way someone could be that nuts. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I don't know enough about Alex Jones. I haven't listened to a lick of him.
I had a friend in middle school / high school / junior college that by the time we reached junior college, he was really on the conspiracy theory train.
Mm-hmm.
And before I knew who Alex Jones was or anything, he was this kid, this friend of mine, put in a DVD of this video that I just thought, it was a documentary. Okay, right on. But it was like an Alex Jones thing.
Awaken Life.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm certain that this candidate is going to be our next president because these secret societies have already decided that they want him to be our president." And then, lo and behold, once that election came up, this guy was nowhere to be found. Where was he?
My favorite thing about conspiracy theories and secret societies is they never answer to what end.
Oh, yeah.
There's never that answer. It's like, this secret family owns $500 trillion. I've seen this before. People I used to know. The secret family owns like $500 trillion worth of the world's economy, but you would never heard about them. And it's like, they're pulling the strings of all the governments. It's like, yeah, but why?
Right.
They can never tell me why.
And if all the world's governments were under one person's jurisdiction, then damn, they're doing a shitty job.
Like they're at least like like the people who think 9/11 was an inside job. There's a why to that. There's there's a reason that they can actually say like why they did that. Like why would the government do that? Because these reasons. Like at least there's that. But like usually the things that are like global conspiracy scale tend to fall apart immediately.
Right. There's that one British guy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, you put any of the scrutiny to these conspiracy theories you would to your average Star Wars movie, and they fall apart instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's that one British guy, husky guy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
And he's the guy that came up with the lizard people theory.
Oh.
But one thing he said that actually kind of is scarily true is how, as a society, we're slowly moving from being like homeowners to being like renters, and how like we're all getting compartmentalized into these like smaller living spaces.
There's more humans, though.
There are more humans, yeah.
The thing about that, though, it's what I understand actually, is that the idea of homeowning is pretty recent.
What do you mean?
Like, well, in America at least, the idea of owning a home was like a invention of the 50s and sort of the suburban expansion era.
Oh, yes. The suburban expansion, yes.
It's like that era is dying, but like it's because it's not the norm. It's like it wasn't the norm, and now it is the norm, and now it's becoming not the norm again. So it's like, well, and so there's the idea: is owning a home the norm, or is it it's like it's that whole thing. It's like is it history changing? Are is the norm being ruined, or is it just the new norm? And like I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. Honestly, though, I'd rather not have to pay someone to live in a place, but.
Yeah, rent kind of sucks.
It does, but I don't like having to. I do like having people take care of my problems when they arise.
That's nice, but what I hate is sort of throwing money into this thing that you'll never get any kind of return on. And that's what's great about homeowning is you can, you mortgage, you do all this stuff, and then somewhere down the line, like, assuming that you'd have equity, right? You're going to get back more than you would have started with.
Yeah.
It's
homeowning for me is a numbers game where it's like I could own a home like 50 miles away and I have to commute every day.
No.
Or I could not. And like I save a bunch of time and money and peace of mind. So it's like which one's worth more?
Well, that's the thing. For you and me, it's like if we wanted to be homeowners, we'd be living in like the Inland Empire.
Yeah, I'd be living like
or Santa Clarita, and like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santa Clarita is nice.
Santa Clarita is nice, but it's far away.
Yeah, it's true.
So far away. So yeah, no, I agree with you. I'd rather be closer in. Hey, for any homeowners out there that may have some
how do you do it?
Information. How do you do it? If you have any, why don't you list some perks? I want to know. I want to know some things.
Also, the problem about LA homes is not a lot of yard space.
Well, and also I'll be like. Owning a home in LA, unless it's like in one of the really nice, rare neighborhoods, I kind of don't want, like if someone's like, "Hey, dude, I got this house in K-Town or like Echo Park or Silver Lake," I'd be like, yeah. I don't want like no barrier between me and someone breaking into my house and stealing everything."
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So that's the whole thing.
Alex,
Well, one day I'll live on top of a mountain
did you grow up
in a
in?
mansion.
Yeah, you'll be Hirsch.
Hirsch.
Yeah,
Hearst.
Hearst.
I
That
reckon.
guy.
Yeah. In his castle.
Yeah.
But isn't that haunted?
Probably.
No, that's the Winchester mansion.
Yeah, well, that's the Winchester mansion. I mean, they're all haunted.
The house that ghosts built.
Or tried to build. I get it.
No, let's just remember that movie with the subtitle they took away.
What was it?
There was that Helen Mirren movie, Winchester, the house that ghosts built. But then they took out the house that ghosts built part of it because presumably
silly.
it tested poorly for being dumb.
Right. Because a ghost can't lift anything. Come on, everybody. A ghost isn't going to spend time building the house.
Well, if a ghost designs a house, it still kind of built it, right? Like an architect builds a house, even though they don't physically build the house.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone, it's a big group effort,
Ghosts are funny. I went on a ghost tour. I think I probably mentioned this on the podcast, and it was all interesting information, but none of it was. You're taking the tour, and it's not like scary taking the tour, but there was one part of the tour that was scary, and that's because we took the Red Line.
Oh yeah, right.
Ghost tour, and so we get off the train at these different places, and we got off the train at I think just Hollywood and Highland. And right when we got above ground, there was two vagrants having a fist fight. And it was just weird that this tour guide was like trying to give us a tour. And then right next to us was these two like fighting. Mm-hmm. That was pretty scary.
How does a place like that become a tourist attraction when it's just so dirty?
Well, I don't think it was always so dirty. That's what I think.
No, I think it was like my mom, like she went visit Hollywood in the 70s and it was worse.
In the 70s, I can imagine it was worse. But if we're talking like the golden age of Hollywood.
Yeah, but like it's been 2 goddamn generations since then. You'd think that, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, you'd think there'd be more effort spent trying to make it more appealing to everyone. Because, like, why would anyone come to Hollywood? I guess they intend to trick people, maybe?
If you don't, like, I think if you don't know better, it's one of those things where you just, Hollywood's known for its stars. Go and visit Hollywood, and then you go there, and it's nothing but poop on the streets.
I don't know, but maybe people enjoy the kind of Hollywood and Highland, Times Square, Vegas sort of thing with all the weird people in suits and stuff, and maybe that's part of the appeal. I don't see any appeal in it though. I really don't get it.
I mean, I will say before I had actually gone there, and the first time I went there and saw it, and maybe even the first couple times, I was like, this is an experience at least. Like, this is different. This is cool. Mm-hmm. I think if you live here and you're exposed to it more regularly, you're sort of like, well, I'm done.
No, I mean the first time I went to Hollywood and Highland, I was like, oh my god.
Oh really?
What the fuck?
Did you give Spider-Man any money?
No, I was like, get the fuck away from me. Like I went there to see it because I went to LA for about 3 months for an internship,
right.
And then went back to Chicago, and then went back here, moved out here permanently. And for that 3 months, like last week, I'm like, I'm gonna go Hollywood and Hollywood. Goddamn, I'm gonna see the stars. Yeah, and I did, and I'm just like, holy shit, what a sinkhole.
Yeah, well, and I probably already mentioned this on here too. When my parents visited Hollywood and Highland, like both Superman and Spider-Man came up to my mom to be like, hey, you want to take a picture with us?
Oh no.
And I was like, no, Mom, come on, let's go. And Spider-Man's like, oh, come on, man, come on. I'm like, nope, no, Spider-Man, you stay back.
Back, Spidey.
I had to tell off Spider-Man. It was traumatizing.
My dad came to visit, and we also went to Hollywood and Highland. And then some guy's like, "Hey, you want a map of the stars?" And my dad's like, just being friendly. It's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll take a map." And the guy starts following us around. It's like, "Anyways,"
oh my God.
And then my dad would be like, "Just kidding, I don't want one anymore." Like in a friendly way, but like I was just like, "Don't talk to anybody. Don't make eye contact. Just keep your head down." Yeah, because he insisted that we go and visit.
Well, and if you need to, you just run into one of the 50 pizza places that are right inexplicably on Hollywood Boulevard.
Now, what you do is, I discovered this when my brother came to visit. Is you go to Hollywood and Highland. If you have to visit, you go to Hollywood and Highland like on a Monday morning.
Yes.
There's fucking no one around.
Yes. Go during a weekday in the morning.
Hmm.
Yeah, the weekend is nuts.
Yeah, it's much nicer. And then also, I think we went. Oh, we did. That was another thing. But I also took my brother to Hollywood and Highland, and coincidentally, the Thor: The Dark World premiere was going on that day.
Oh.
So it was kind of fun.
Did you see Hemi?
No,
Hemi
I
Hemsworth?
didn't see anyone, no.
Yeah.
But I saw the red carpet. Sure was red.
I don't know. Every once in a while, as much as as dirty and annoying as it is, every once in a while, I don't mind stopping by there and seeing what's up. There's that whole like shopping center with the big elephant statues.
Yeah, where the Oscars are.
Yeah, that's cool. What is that called again?
Is it
just Dolby?
It's the Dolby Center still? Because
I
it was
guess
the
it's
Kodak
the
Theater, now it's the Dolby Theater. I don't know if it's Dolby Center. I don't know.
Okay.
It's across the street from the Egyptian.
One of those. Yeah, across the street from the Egyptian, yeah.
And from the El Capitan.
Yeah.
I've never seen a theater or a movie in the El Capitan or the Egyptian. Have you?
I've seen a movie in the Egyptian. I have not seen a movie in the El Capitan. Hey, Alex, why don't we go to the El Capitan?
Well, only if it's like one of the things where the Muppets show up.
Where they show up.
Like, do you know, like when the Muppet movie was coming out, the Muppets would introduce the movie sometimes.
Oh.
Like they'd be like, and come see it at this time, and the Muppets will be there in person. It's like, oh.
Wow. So I could say hi to Kermie?
Well, from the crowd, yeah.
The sad thing is we probably won't get a Muppets movie for another like 15 years, probably.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm bummed, man. They should have kept going.
I mean, the Muppets come in waves.
Movies.
Oh, you bummed that the TV show kind of put the Muppets on ice?
Well, the movies did too, though. Because
that first movie was amazing.
The first movie was really great, and then the second movie was like a fart in the wind.
It wasn't that bad.
And I liked it, but I felt like no one saw it.
It was it was a mild splash, I guess.
I feel like it's a seal of approval when Ray Liotta makes a cameo in your movie.
Like in Sin City 2?
Yeah. Which I've never seen.
He's a character, I guess, like a minor character.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then they made that TV show that nobody watched.
Yeah, then the TV show. Honestly, yeah, more than anything, I think you're right. Like the TV show kind of put a huge screw in the machine there.
And the Muppets will be back every 10 years.
Every 10 years.
Gotta have some Muppets.
Who's your favorite Muppet?
Rolf.
Really?
Rolf's great. I love Rolf.
He's the dog, right?
Yeah, he's that dog
that plays the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolf's good old fashioned Muppet.
I like Fozzie.
He's that bear.
Yeah, he's the bear that's just always awkward and annoying.
Yep.
He reminds me of myself. Just
always
stepping in a
conversation. But you're not wearing a little hat, though.
No, I'm not wearing the little hat. Plus, I wear clothes.
He's got a tie on.
He's got a tie, yeah. Between him and Yogi Bear, who do you think is more, I guess, annoying?
Yogi.
Yogi?
Yeah, because, like, Fozzie's a clown on purpose. Like, he's trying to make you have a good time, trying to make you laugh. And Yogi Bear is just annoying and stupid.
He's just thinking of himself.
Yeah.
I see.
Did you hear that there was a thing where some guy... I saw this thing. It was a news article where some guy was like... I have one of the original Fozzie Bears, or like the original Fozzie Bear that Jim Henson had, and Frank Oz was like, "Fuck you, dude! No, you don't." And and the guy's like, "Yeah, I do." And Frank Oz was like, "Nuh-uh, like why would that? Like I know, like Jim Henson would never do that. It's ridiculous." And there was like a back and forth, and like it was a lot more polite than I.
Okay, I was gonna be damn.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not. This is not
crass.
a quote. No, Frank Oz was very nicely being like, I don't think that's true. You know, and like.
Yeah.
In like that genuine sweet Frank Oz way. And then Frank Oz, like apparently like a few hours later, Frank Oz like, I just got news from the Muppets archive that was one of the original Fozzie Bears, and I just don't understand why Jim would do that, and I'm really sad. I'm like, aw, poor Frank Oz. It was like this whole back and forth I saw though.
That's it's interesting. So, okay, just going back to the Happy Time Murders, this wasn't a Henson production, but it was an alternative Henson production.
Is that what it's called? Alternate Henson?
It's called like Alt Henson or something. But it's by Brian Henson, which I guess is his son.
Yeah, he directed Muppet Christmas Carol.
Right, yeah.
And other things.
Or Treasure Island, too,
and that
I
too,
think,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Carrying on the Henson name.
And I was just curious, like, man, would Jim Henson be down with
Yes. Jim
Okay.
Henson wanted to make puppet things for adults, sort of. Like, the original Muppets were a little more racy.
Oh.
Like, not the Kermit Muppets,
Like
but the
Crank
original concept of Muppets, from what I understand, were a little more, like, adult. Not like, maybe not as adult as Happy Time Murders, but, like, not like little kid puppet things. So, like, we want to make puppets for all audiences, especially adults and stuff. I think it was more in line with kind of the TV show that they just made.
Oh.
Where they're like, making innuendos and doing all that kind of stuff. And,
Interesting. It's
and
like
then-
Crank Yankers.
No, I don't think nearly as crass as Crank Yankers, but like they weren't always like a kids thing, and I think they got a little more kiddie as the time went on.
Right, yeah.
Man, I love Muppets. I miss them already.
That would be a videography that I'd love to complete.
The problem
Is
with
the Muppet movies.
the Muppet movies is I love the Muppets, but like the old Muppet movies never really grabbed me. Like I've seen the 70s Muppet movie, and I've seen Muppets Most Wanted, and both the times are like, yeah, those are fine. But like I wasn't like I'm in love like I was with the new Muppets, the Muppets, or with the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah. Well, those are probably like on the top of the. They're
Yeah, I think the other ones are more along the Muppet Most Wanted level.
right.
And a lot of the problem is like, the ones in the 70s are like, and some guy's like, hi. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't know. Like, I'm not familiar with every 70s cameo.
Oh, the cameos would be that way. Yeah.
Like, I know some of
Outdated
them.
cameos.
Some of them I know. Like, they're more obvious than others.
So because I haven't seen any of those 70s ones. I mean, like, who do we have in there?
I don't know. Like, Milton Berle.
Oh, okay.
So it's also confusing. Like, when it's a mad world. Has a bunch of celebrity cameos with people who just show up and like,
Right.
hello there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them.
Way to be up your own ass, 70s.
Part of them is because they're younger versions of comedians I know who are like old men. And
like Bob Newhart or something.
Yeah, it's like, who is that? And like a lot of them are just, of the time kind of things.
Yeah. Is Bob Newhart still around?
I think he is, yeah. He was an elf.
Wow. Well, that was.
I know. I believe I would have heard if he died, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think.
He's great.
Or maybe he is dead. I just didn't hear about it, which would be really weird. I'm sure he's alive. I'm sure it would have
Tell you what, we'll look up some Bob Newhart. For anybody who doesn't know, Bob Newhart was very. It was like the ultimate dad jokes, right?
Is that how?
But he was like the master of it. I mean, I guess that's. I don't know. Oh wait. Yeah. Is he? Yeah, he's still around.
Yeah, see, I thought so.
Born in 1929. Damn.
So he's turning 90?
Yes. Well, good for him.
Yeah. And Kirk Douglas is like 120?
Oh my God.
Not really, but he's over 100. I think he's turning 100.
That's Michael Douglas's dad, right?
Yep. What a dynasty they got going on.
They got a dynasty going on. Yeah, they got his Michael Douglas has a son that tried acting and wasn't able to. They had the movie with the three of them: Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas, and Michael Douglas' son.
What movie?
I don't know the name of it.
Spartacus 2.
Spartacus 2. That's yeah.
That's it. That's the one. Spartacus 2, Wall Street 3. Yeah.
It's hard to believe there was a Wall Street with
Shia LaBeouf.
Sheila Buffy in it. Yeah.
It is kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
Um,
Forgotten. That's one of them forgotten movies.
it is.
Added to our list of the forgotten films. Every episode, one more forgotten movie.
Where we bring up a forgotten film.
I mean-
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe we should make that a thing.
We should make that
the
a
last
thing.
like 4 episodes, I've been bringing up a forgotten movie every episode, so we could try and make it a feature where every episode we have
I would
a
love
forgotten
that.
movie. It's like, hey, you remember this? And I'd be like, no, I don't remember this, and then we could talk about it.
We would have had to have watched it recently.
No,
Or
not
something. No?
necessarily. It's just like a
Okay.
movie that you probably have seen or at least know of stuff about. Like it's more of a talking point than anything because we can't make a whole show about it, so we might as well just make a little thing
Okay.
at the end of every episode or something.
Okay. Well, interestingly enough, Alex, last week, a friend of mine, ex-coworker.
Oh, you guys broke up?
Yeah, we broke up. He invited me to this.
Hey, my contract's up. It's not me.
It's
Or It's not
you.
you. It's not you. It's me. I'm sorry. Just wasn't gonna work out. Anyway, sorry.
He invited me to this screenwriting group that he's a part of. So I went to that.
You don't screenwrite, do you?
I'm getting into it. All right.
Whoa.
I'm trying to get into it.
Cool.
I've written a couple scripts, but I suck at it. So therefore
Well, that's what you go to a screenwriting circle for.
Yeah. First and foremost, everybody, don't pretend to format a screenplay. Just get the proprietary software and do it on there because people will know the difference.
I mean, I'm really, speaking of which, I'm disappointed in, is it Celtics? Is that how you pronounce it? Celtics?
I think
Celtics? I don't know. I've heard it
it's
pronounced both
Celtics.
ways. In college, I used to, and I got it a few weeks ago because it's like I need to format this thing I'm writing correctly, and so I got it to like convert it, and like it's all different now. It's like you can only use it online. They don't make you pay for it, but they're like, hey, give us money, subscribe to this format. Like you can use it for free, but they like hide it away. It's like, what the hell happened?
Interesting.
Man, I liked it when it was downloadable.
That's I liked downloadable stuff.
I mean, like there are other downloadable things. It's just like I trusted that one.
Yeah.
It was the one I used in college.
I totally get it though, honestly. Like especially
And I also
like,
get they got to make money somehow. So.
Yeah.
And also they offer a lot of very nice features like, cloud services and being able to share between people and having all that and like being able to like actually like budget your fucking movies through the website and stuff. It's like that's all cool and stuff, but like I was like it just threw me for a loop. It did. I was like, oh man, I'm an old man. Everything's different.
You were doing backflips in confusion.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to this group, and you know what movie they brought up as an example of something good to reference?
The Last Jedi.
Mystery Men.
Why?
Because Mystery Men is a hidden treasure, my friend. If we're talking about movies that time forgot, Mystery Men.
I don't think time actually has forgot Mystery Men. I would not put that in that list.
Really?
I would say that movie is still fondly remembered by folks such as your screenwriting buddies.
Fondly remembered? I don't think so.
They're fondly remembering it, apparently.
Well, what it was okay, there was a character in a screenplay that someone had where they were like
Mr. Anger.
dealing with invisibility.
Oh, that.
So then they brought up the whole Kel Mitchell's character being invisible, but only when no one is looking at him and he's not looking at himself or whatever.
Yeah. You can only be invisible when no one's looking at him.
Including himself.
No,
yeah.
I think he can look at himself. I think everyone else can't look at him.
Oh, right.
Well, yeah. Anyways, like the thing when I think forgotten movies, like the basis I'm using is like sort of the places on the internet where I tend to go, like Reddit and like kind of like bigger type places. And if I haven't seen a movie mentioned on there, it's sort of I consider it a forgotten movie.
Oh,
and Mystery
okay.
Men I see mentioned occasionally in the same vein as like Space Jam. Just like,
Space
oh man,
Jam, right,
remember the
yeah.
'90s? One of those sort of '90s feel good.
Remember the
hits.
90s?
So like that's where I see it occasionally. So I wouldn't call it completely forgotten because it has nostalgic value.
That's true.
No one's
Yeah.
nostalgic for Wall Street Money Never Sleeps, though.
Right, yeah. That's the name of the second one?
Yes, it is.
Money Never Sleeps?
Yeah, because it's paper.
Oh, man. That's a hoot and a holler. That's a riot.
Well, that's fun, though. Anyway, did you learn anything?
From
your screenwriting?
I did, yeah. It was interesting. There was one person who was very wordy with like what would you call it? Not the actual
Exposition,
dialogue,
like
but I
the
guess
prose, if you will.
Yeah, the prose. Yeah, there was someone that was really wordy with the prose. There's another person that had nothing but dialogue, and one of the notes
The
was
Brian Michael Bendis method.
yeah. But one of the notes was like, hey, like these people don't exist in a space right now. Like they just like this is just people talking.
Speaking of ghosts.
Yeah, like these people don't like exist anywhere right now. They're just talking.
Yeah.
Like, and so yeah, it was a refresher, sort of like, you got to make sure that people are doing something while they talk. You need secondary actions. You need more than just people explaining everything that's going on with what they're saying.
Well, I would recommend to you and anyone out there who's interested in the art of screenwriting one of my favorite podcasts. It's called Script Notes, which is John August's, who's the screenwriter
John
of
August,
Big Fish and other things.
Oh.
And Big Fish is one of my most favorite movies.
It's a good movie.
It's him and his another screenwriter, and they basically they talk about screenwriting. They kind of occasionally they'll have guests and they'll talk. Like recently, Mindy Kaling was on. She talked about how she got into screenwriting, which is really interesting.
Cool.
They talk about guild stuff, which is occasionally interesting, like the industry, which because I'm not in the Writers Guild,
Right.
is always interesting to hear what they do, and then also occasionally they'll like have samples and they'll go through them and they'll be like this, and that. It's like this dialogue's a little cliche, clean up here. They'll read like the first 3 pages of a script of scripts that people submit to them on purpose.
Oh.
And they'll critique it. And
note the fuck out of it.
And they also and they'll talk about sort of general concepts. Like recently there was an episode about just the art of exposition.
Right.
Like what movies do exposition well, how to write exposition into your script. Like things like The Matrix and stuff. Like good exposition reveals something about your characters while it's going on, that kind of stuff. So I would wholeheartedly recommend that if you're into filmmaking podcasts in a very specific sense.
Right.
Or you can listen to the Filmtastic Voyage.
Yeah.
If you're into filmmaking podcasts or film podcasts or whatever the fuck we do here.
Whatever the fuck. Hey, you want to... Dutch angle, everybody. Dutch angle. Look up.
What, Battlefield Earth?
No, I'm just saying, hey, our vocabulary word for today, Dutch angle, everybody. Look it up.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Zoom.
Yeah.
You don't see Zooms anymore, do you?
Thankfully, no.
I don't know.
I feel like
something
Zooms
charming
are
about Zooms. I just rewatched Silence of the Lambs, and there's a nice Zoom in that movie that was like, you don't really see Zooms anymore, do you? And not like the slow Zooms, like a nice wide shot of a building. There was what's the fuck? What's the FBI's headquarters?
Oh my God! Don't.
I forget what it's called. I'm sure someone's letting. I'm just blanking. Anyway, it's
the
like
Pentagon. I don't know.
It's like the building Langley.
Yes, we'll say that.
It's like the building, and it's just like a nice. It starts wide and it zooms in on Clarice walking through a hall, and so you don't really see that kind of shot anymore. It's a very 70s style shot of starting wide on a location and zooming in to find a character in a space. Like most zooms you see nowadays, if any, tend to either be like sort of a vertigo effect or like zooming in like a close up or something very subtle, like a subtle push to zoom in.
There's that which I like.
But most zooms are actually most things are pushes nowadays.
What explain?
No, zoom in is like you're zooming the camera, like
right.
You're zooming it in. And pushing is where you take the physical camera and you move it forward.
Oh,
that's more
gotcha.
common, I feel, than zooms.
I think it's more natural looking, to be honest. Zooms. When you watch it's like when you see when you're watching a zoom in, it's almost like you feel like the camera's there now. Mm-hmm. Like this is a camera doing this.
Well,
now.
Yeah, because it doesn't mimic the effect of the eye when you're moving forward because the background stays static with the image.
The one thing I really hate, and I don't know if there's must be a name for this, and it seems to be in a lot of like J.J. Abrams sci-fi, is where you have something going on in a wide shot, and then it does the thing where it like zooms in real quick, and then it
a snap zoom.
Yeah,
that's the other thing
zoom.
that we see a lot. Snap zooms.
I'm tired of it.
I like a good snap zoom, but you get like one per like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly, Man of Steel has sequences that have 2 snap zooms in the same shot. I'm like, you cannot do that. Wait a minute. Like,
yeah.
I think Man of Steel is a really pretty movie, but you just can't do that. Like that's it's too much when you can't find your target. You can't find your subject in a shot twice.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Man of Steel, am I right?
The first movie I remember having some snap zooms was Serenity, which I was like, ooh, cool.
Oh yeah.
That was like 2005. I'm sure the snap zooms existed long before that, but that was the first time I noticed it, and I was like, that's a cool effect.
Wow, I didn't realize that must have been one of the first.
I don't think so. I'm sure it's been snap zoom. Like I said, it's probably been around forever, but
since the first Wall Street.
Yeah, since Wall Street 1, Oliver Stone's famous snap zooms. Like that scene in Platoon where Willem Dafoe comes out of the forest and he's getting rid of the bullets, and then it snap zooms onto his face.
If that movie was made nowadays, that's what would happen. They would snap zoom that shot.
Also, there'd be 4 cuts.
Right, there'd be 4 cuts.
Every time he gets shot, another cut.
Well, whatever. I honestly think cinema nowadays is just as good as it's ever been, if not better.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's just because there's more tools available, especially. I saw something annoying where, well, not really. It wasn't something specific. I just when it comes to cuts, speaking of which, a lot of people don't understand why cuts are done, and they also understand how you can make you can do quick cutting effectively, and it works really well, but people tend not to notice when it happens. You know,
Right.
it's the same thing with VFX. It's like, or especially, it's like, oh, that of a CGI is garbage. It's just because you notice the bad stuff.
But you don't notice the good stuff.
You don't notice the good stuff, or the good
Right.
stuff you still notice it, but you're still impressed by. Like Thanos, everyone knows it's CGI, but it looks really great. But you know, like a lot of what I used to do was just invisible hand stuff,
Yeah.
just stuff you'd never even notice.
Yeah. If you don't notice, yeah. I mean, that's I think if anything, yeah, you're not supposed to notice because it just looks so damn good.
Or it's too far from the camera. It's like
that's why you have a Snapchat.
I've animated a lot of crowds in the past, like a lot of not crowd simulations, but like actual like hand animated crowd characters.
Oh yeah.
Or like background characters are like 50 feet behind the camera. They're just kind of like standing around picking their nose or whatever, and you would never know that they're CG characters
Oh right.
because they're in the background, maybe even out of focus.
Wasn't that like a huge thing with Gladiator? I remember them saying
But the crowds.
The crowds were all CG crowds.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Like most of the Coliseum was CG.
Right. Yeah. But wasn't that like a big deal for that movie? Because
That
it was
was
maybe one of the first. Or
One of the
something?
first uses of crowd technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not because like Phantom Menace had crowds in '99.
Right.
But it was like for human crowds. Yeah. And I think that was also a RenderMan project, which is Pixar's rendering software,
Oh.
if I recall
Wow.
correctly. Not that it really matters nowadays. It's just sort of interesting because folks at home, there's like dozens of different rendering engines that you can use to render your things.
That's right.
Typically, like not the standard, but like mostly, in my experience, it's either been V-Ray or Redshift. So look those up if you want to see what those look like.
I've used V-Ray, but I haven't used Redshift.
V-Ray is fun. Mental Ray is an older one.
I've used Mental Ray.
Arnold's kind of the new standard in terms of what comes out of the box in Maya. RenderMan is what Pixar uses. Hyperion is what Disney uses. And there's also other proprietary who's it's and whatever. So there's that.
Yeah. Well, that's good news.
Yes, it is. It's quite good news. And like I said in the previous episode, nowadays we're getting into real-time rendering with Unreal and Unity.
Oh, right.
Very
yeah.
exciting.
I'm sure.
Did we talk about how NVIDIA just revealed their new collection of
The what? Who?
NVIDIA released their new slew of graphics cards that are able to do ray tracing, which is very exciting.
Who did this?
NVIDIA.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And I explained what ray tracing was in the past. But it basically is the technology that lets you do real-time reflections.
Oh, okay.
To put it in the most simplest terms. So now, like from video games, for example, you can go up to like a car and you can see your character in the car, and it will be distorted like it would be. It's like ooh, it's the future.
So where do we see that? I guess on PC, like
Mostly, it would be on PC for now.
right, and then the next gen,
Maybe the next gen of consoles.
yeah.
Probably the next gen of consoles. Well, I mean, like the cards themselves are like $800.
Right.
So-
that sounds about right. Yeah.
And then there are also like professional level cards. I think that are like $10,000 for like the highest level professional card. But if you can render photorealistic shit on it, saves you a lot of time, which saves you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a cool feature. Can't wait.
I imagine like 3D animation and stuff, it'll probably get to a point where it is just real time rendering, huh?
Maybe in like 20 years. The thing is, it still can't do complex simulation in real time. It's still like most people have to use Houdini and bake out an Alembic cache, which is basically making sort of a slideshow, or sort of like basically it's like taking something smoke in Houdini, and then you just sort of like render that out, and then you put it in something else, and it'll like play. But it's not in real time. It's just playing a movie file, if you will.
Yeah.
And then like a 3D movie file, and then you can't hair. No way. Like, the way that movies, like, Pixar movies, are individual rendered strands of hair. Like, a human's head will have 400,000 strands of hair. Can't do that in real time yet.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And also lighting is always, like, a lot of lighting in gaming is cheated. They still can't do it in real time. A lot of it's baked in stuff. But, like, so there's differences and strengths and weaknesses still. But I imagine in the future, I don't know if it will ever become truly real time, but it'll definitely be more accepted. You might have studios that only do real time versus studios that do rendering, and
Oh wow.
maybe. Maybe. I can imagine there being a couple animation studios that, like a animation studio that opens up for that just does works in Unreal.
Well, what'd be interesting is I think for like feature film, probably it won't be like real time stuff. Probably it will follow.
No, because I think it still. I mean, like we'll see in the future, but like it will always look better rendered.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But I think a perfect outlet for sort of like testing, real time rendering technology and maybe stuff that isn't as hefty is TV animation. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you still have to use Maya and stuff.
Right.
You can't animate in Unreal really. You still have to use everything else, but you can take all that, slap it in the thing. You don't have to, and then you just make a movie. You don't have to render it because rendering takes like, depending on what you're doing, the complexity and all that stuff. Like an hour a frame if it's like something fairly simple. Or not like fairly simple. It depends on also because there's also what rendering thing you're doing too.
Yeah.
And if it's GPU versus CPU, there's a lot of things in it. But like, let's just say like an hour a frame.
Right.
So
That's
you have like a
time.
10-minute long thing. How long is that? So it's,
a long time.
I mean, so it's like 1 second will take a day.
Right.
So so basically
Oh
that's
my
like
God.
months and months. But you have a render farm. It has like dozens of nodes working at once. But either way, if something gets fucked up, a shot gets fucked up, then you have several more hours to sit on it. That's a lot wasted time, wasted money.
Right. Yeah. Time equals money. Am I right?
Yep. Anyways, that's been Talking Shop.
That's right. And hey, it looks like speaking of time, it looks like we're out of time, Alex.
Aw.
But don't worry, everybody. We'll be back next episode with much more chatter and
chowder.
blabber, and chowder. Yeah, we should cook up some chowder and have it for the next episode.
Yeah, let's eat it on camera because it's one thing I know that people love is eating food near a microphone.
The weird thing is there's actually a whole
right, there is a market
subculture out there now that is really into that.
Whatever.
Which, hey, that's great. Easy to please.
You know what's a fun subculture? Last thing, as I just stumbled upon a series of video documentaries about this, like the history of speedrunning video games.
Oh,
It's fascinating what these people do. Like the one I saw was this guy basically going through a comprehensive history, like a half-hour long little mini documentary on YouTube about how people figured out how to game the map Choco Mountain in Mario Kart 64, and they like got the fastest lap the fastest 3 laps from like a minute and a half to 16 seconds, and it's like a half-hour video of how exactly what glitches were discovered to get that time from that to that. It's like, wow, that's really interesting. So I've been kind of watching those.
Jeez.
Such a cool, interesting little subculture.
yeah.
And like it's so fun to watch that kind of stuff because like I don't know how they do it. They just like go like you see people walk up to a wall and then suddenly the game's over and they finish the game. It's like what the fuck happened?
It's a weird world out there, Alex.
Yeah, it's a mad world.
And it's getting madder.
I'm getting angry just thinking about it.
We'll be walking on ceilings before we know it. Just because.
Well, if you're mad and you want to let us know about it, we're at filmtasticvoyage.com, Filmtastic Voyage at facebook.com, and we're on YouTube or whatever.
Oh, yeah, we are on YouTube. We're also on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I'm Batman Crothers.
I'm Mr. Kerosene. Check out our reviews. Maybe leave us some comments. Let us know your username so we can check out your reviews too.
Yeah, I'll follow you. I promise.
We are a part of a bigger podcast network, the Let Me Listen Podcast Network. You can check out all the podcasts on the Let Me Listen Podcast Network on SoundCloud, on YouTube. Hey, leave us some comments, leave us some ratings, tell your friends about us.
Spread the good word, as they say.
Spread the good word. Listen, everybody, we'll see you next. You'll see us next time.
Unless you listen to this, no judgment.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you leave us some video comments?
Was it like a comment? Is it like you record yourself as a video making a comment?
I feel like for a certain amount of time, YouTube actually had that where you can leave video comments and then they got rid of it.
I feel like you're lying.
Okay.
But maybe it did. That would solve a lot of YouTube comment problems, I think, if you had to literally turn your camera and be like, hi, just want to say, I thought that video was garbage, and you're the worst. All right, okay, bye.
I can't disagree with what you just said. That would solve a lot of problems. If it was mandatory, you can only leave video comments. All right, everybody. Hey, bye. Bye.
We're really creative here at the Filmtastic Voyage.